What's going on, everyone? Matthew here again. It's been a few weeks since I did my last fight week recap video, and so I've had a few weeks to let the stories break. There's been a few good ones in the last month or so. I'll start off first of all with, of course, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. That's like my most anticipated fight recently. I can't believe I'm saying that either because a year ago if you would have said Jake Paul's fighting one of the Fury family, I would have laughed in your face. But no, it doesn't seem so unrealistic. The press conference happened last week, maybe the week before. Probably the most shambolic press conference ever, but I loved it so much. It was absolutely hilarious. John Fury came out with some crazy sound bites in there. Some of the stuff he said was absolutely atrocious, to be honest. I feel like Jake Paul somehow came off the better there. Um, he didn't really say much, and it seemed like he was filming in a potato. And trust me, I know about filming in potatoes if you've seen the channel content over the years, but especially on my end, it was a shambolic press conference, wasn't it? I mean, Tyson Fury and Tommy Fury looked embarrassed at one point. John Fury made some really hideous remarks about Jake Paul and Jake Paul's girlfriend, and it just didn't look good from Fury's. You could just tell Frank Warren was embarrassed. Eddie Hearn came out in an interview. I'm not sure whether it was with IFL TV or not, but yeah, you could just tell the embarrassment was he was emulating there. Still good press for the fight though. It certainly serves to amp up the pressure for each of the fighters, and I think it's going to be a good one. Hopefully, Calvin and I'll do a reaction video together for it because Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, it's there's no real bad outcome there. Whoever loses, do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. Another Fury family story. It seems like Fury Usyk might be the next fight. I know AJ had the rematch lined up with Alexander Usyk after his defeat in September, but it seems like he's considering a step aside payout, and then that would allow Tyson Fury to come in and hopefully unify the belts. I'm a big fan of AJ. I'm a big fan of Fury, and I'm probably an even bigger fan of Usyk actually. I probably prefer Usyk out of the three, and he's a tremendous fighter. I mean, I'd love to see Usyk AJ again, but I think Usyk Fury would be equally, if not more, entertaining. I think AJ he's going to really struggle to get the belts back, so it's a real shame from the consider this payout. I hope he doesn't actually. I hope we do see AJ Usyk too, and then after that Fury Usyk because ultimately I want to see all the best heavyweights fight each other, and it's just not what we're seeing at the minute. Fury's been quite quiet actually since his fight with Wilder, so he might be looking to break. I'm not too sure, but I think Usyk poses a real threat for whoever he fights. He's that good, although he doesn't have the size of these other heavyweights. He's still got the skills and the talent. He's exceptional. Um, you'll might see also by the thumbnail. I've kind of have a list of fights to talk about. The Terence Crawford Sean Porter fight happened a couple of weeks ago. What a great fight it was. Terence Crawford is definitely one of the best pound for pound fighters these days, and hopefully he lines up a fight with Errol Spence Jr. I think that'll be an interesting matchup. Sean Porter retired after that. It's a bit of a shame because he's also a fantastic fighter. It's Terence Crawford admitted so that he needed like a big name on his resume, and Sean Porter was that for sure. And he did pretty well, but Terence Crawford's just too good. The first person I think to knock Sean Porter out. So yeah, there's that. Moving over to UFC news. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but Conor McGregor's put a few posts up online recently, and he's looking really, really big. He's looking, welterweight size, if not bigger than that. I'm not sure whether he's planning to move up to welterweight. Obviously, he fought Cowboy Cerrone at welterweight, and I think he might have even fought Nate Diaz at welterweight too. Yeah, he did. So it's going to be interesting to see. I worry for him at that weight because eh, I just don't think his power transcends up the weight classes as it should. I think he's maybe better sticking to lightweight or even below that, to be honest with you. Although he seems a bit more comfortable and healthy at that heavier weight. It's crazy. I'll put up a picture in the thumbnail, but it's mad how big he is now. Like he's looking like Kamaru Usman size. I'm not sure if he'll ever get like a title fight at welterweight. I just think all the contenders are too good for him, too big for him as well. So that remains to be seen. I'm even trying to think if there's any other fight news. Nothing that really. Oh yes, big fight this weekend. Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Now Devin Haney's kind of for me the new Floyd Mayweather. I think he's gonna have a huge, great legacy with him, and he's so young as well. I was comparing his and obviously Mayweather's records, and at the same age, Devin Haney's doing better than Floyd. He's 23. I think he's definitely undefeated, and coincidentally enough, I've mentioned the YouTube boxers there. I actually heard of Devin Haney through the KSI Logan Paul rematch. He fought there. I think he fought a fighter Santiago. So that should be a good fight. But yeah, that wraps up the video.